down. What's up, man?
Nothing. What are you doing?
What are you doing?
Nothing.
You can take an allergy pill or you been doing cocaine?
Uh, not cocaine. I was smoking a bowl. It makes me sneeze.
Oh, it happens to me too.
Like if it's really good, it makes me sneeze.
Is that what it is?
I think.
It happens to Heather all the time. So
Yeah, it's weird. Like the
it's
first.
like looking at the sun. When you look at the sun when you go outside, does it make you sneeze?
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep. How do I get a picture? I have no picture, just an S.
You gotta change it in the settings, just like in StreamYard.
Settings. Video, audio, virtual background, shortcuts.
Same exact thing.
Huh. Nope.
Did I even name this stream? Ethos with Ego.
Oh yeah, the ethos with ego. What are these dots? Edit name, video settings. Edit avatar. There we go.
There you go.
Add one. I like to choose a picture. Oh here. So how was your day?
Yeah, whatever.
Yeah, mine too. Try this one.
Same as always.
Oh, there's the circle. There we go. Apply. Done. How's that? Oh, there we go. That's good.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
The ethos with ego. What does ethos mean? Let me Google it. It's like the way everybody thinks, or the sort of the collective, the spirit of a culture, era, or community as manifested in its beliefs and aspirations. Okay.
Yeah.
With ego. Okay. Sounds pretty deep. I don't know if I'm ready for all that.
It's always deep, isn't it?
Yeah, it is kind of, and I'm never ready for it.
Do you got a friend like me who rambles on about, I guess, nonsensicals like this?
And who I listen to? No.
Oh,
Yeah, I don't listen. Yeah. If I did, I would just like,
really? You think so?
yeah, but I like talking about it with you. But it's my thing is like, what does it matter? What practical use?
Oh my God, it's what does it matter thing. Oh my God.
What practical use can you make of it?
Oh, well, it can define your whole life.
Change my decisions.
I'm not saying that's what I'm trying to do. That's
Change
not
my worldview, the way I look at the world.
It can
Or
add.
okay, just like what we were talking about last time. Change the way I see the world, so I see the bigger picture of the world rather than my little myopic bit of it.
Yeah, because it's gay.
Yeah, with ego, ethos with ego,
All
spirit
right,
of the culture.
wow, one second.
Ego. Lyrics lit. All right, all right. I got the YouTube pulled up. One watching, that must be me. Oh, you put link in the chat. All right. I guess I'll share it. Copy. I'll just tweet it. I won't say say nothing about it. I'll just paste.
Of course.
Hey, Heather.
No. This is my mom.
Oh, hi, Mom.
She, my cousin Jay. Oh, no. Yes, I love it. I fucking love that sound. It just like brings warmth to my heart. No, do you? I know you're gay, but I think you think the same as like straight dudes, like vagina.
Well, I'm glad vagina is around.
But anyway, my cousin James.
Just dicks.
Well, let me turn this down just a little bit louder than the other reading. My cousin James apparently just had a blowout on the interstate, but he's graduating from military college, and their graduation is down here from Maryland.
Oh.
I'm like, bro, if I have to go and help that bitch right now, I'm not trying to drive out there. There's no.
So he's stranded in the road right now.
Apparently. But what?
And he's coming to see you.
No, he's not coming to see you.
Or to graduate.
No. He's not.
Are you going to his graduation?
We're going to go to the lunch after the graduation.
Which is
tomorrow in the afternoon.
All right.
Yeah, he's a little Marine.
All he has to do is change a tire. A Marine can change a tire.
Yeah, I hope so. I hope they get it together. Do
they have a spare?
I hope they get it together.
Lug wrench.
Don't be calling me right now. I ain't trying to drive 30, 40 miles.
I mean, he's not
tired for a minute, bro. Yeah, we're going to some Chinese spot tomorrow.
Yeah.
For his dinner. Maybe we can. I kind of don't want to go there, but we'll see.
Right.
Yeah, we'll see.
So if he does call you, Uncle Gay Dollar, I'm stuck. You gotta come get me. What you gonna do?
Well, he's my uncle, and it's his kid. So what's that?
Oh, he's your uncle, his kid. That's your grand nephew. No. What is it? Cousin?
Nah, that's not cousin.
Your uncle's kid.
He's my. What the fuck is he?
Is he your brother or your mom's brother? Your mom's or your dad's brother?
He's my uncle, and it's the kid.
So you two are cousins.
Is that
it's not your nephew. He's your cousin. Yeah.
No.
Yes.
Man, I don't speak none of that shit in real life, bro. I don't speak none of that. Like I'm a hermit. But apparently he graduated military school, which is fantastic.
Yeah. So he's gonna join the service as an officer. Can he do that since he was graduated?
Is that how that works?
I think so. I think you have to go to school to be an officer.
So he's a very talented dude, and he's adopted. I'll be honest, he's an adopted little homie.
How old is he? 18?
Shit, I don't know about that.
Oh, we graduated from a college. So he's in his 20s.
Probably about 20, something like that. Definitely. It's a military college, so shit, I would assume 19, 20, 21. I would assume that. Yeah, but it's dope, man. It's pretty dope. But they went to school in Maryland, and their graduation's in Columbus, Georgia. What the hell?
That's what. That's what. Oh, might as well. It's the military.
I guess
Go travel.
That's what that is.
Yeah. Cover this ground.
So I got a lot of military shit around my house. Like my house is a museum, of course. You know what I'm saying? Like,
Yeah, I've seen your gun collection.
And
Posing like Rick Simmons in it. Like
in one of my dad's boxes that he made, it's like a rectangle, you know, about like 13, 14 inches by 5, 6, 7 inches. You know, this dope little box.
Yeah.
And in that box, there's 3 lead guys. And my dad was a master at arms, so he was a cop, and he was also a signalman in the Navy. And he graduated from the Marines. And my mom was telling me that he's apparently like into this shit like I am. And I was thinking about giving him one of those.
Oh yeah. Send him the link. Oh,
I'll go grab him. Let me grab him real quick. I'll go grab him.
Okay. I do have it somewhere.
No. Here, hold on. So my dad, let me close the box real quick.
Hold it up, I can't see it.
Trying to look across the camera. Trying to look past the camera. Boom. So my dad made this box.
Yeah, that's
A
cool.
long time ago. You see the little Navy dude, right?
Yeah. He's on that
guy.
side.
This guy. And then
yeah.
Oh shit! I probably did.
Oh, they fell over.
Knock the soldier down.
Oh.
Anyway.
Don't leave them behind. Oh, there's a bullet.
Yeah, there's a bullet. And I got these 2 little Navy guys. But they're lead. They're old lead.
Oh, okay.
And they're all painted.
What, do they melt bullets down and then pour it in a cask or something? That's cool.
What a difficult thing to carry. So I was thinking about giving them one of them.
Oh, that would be cool.
You think so?
Yeah, yeah. Your dad made the box, but where'd you get the knives and the? What branch of service is your cousin going into?
So I got, like, you've seen, I've got a lot of bayonets in the house and all that shit.
Yeah. Yep.
So I got okay. Hold on a quick. So I got this bayonet. It's got like the button.
Yeah.
And I've got a couple of them. And I got this bayonet. Beautiful.
But do you have the guns to affix them to?
But anyway, look at this little homie right here, right?
Yeah, that's one of the lead.
Oh, look at my hair. I look like a mess. I'm a mess.
Yeah.
But
say it.
How do I get the color out of this? I gotta show my face. Yeah. So I got this little lead homie. See it? It looks good.
Yep. What is it? Well, let me see the flags. Okay, what's he holding? Is that semaphore? Is he doing semaphore?
It's 2 red flags with a red stripe in the middle.
What is it?
Bitch, I'm not in the Navy.
Let me look at semaphore.
And then I got a little green guy. So this is for the family. I'm not trying to like you know,
I know.
I'm even digesting whether I can even like give him one of these guys. And then so
Are they both doing it? Are they identical? The two lead ones?
so the 2 lead ones are green and this one's a white suit.
Okay, let's see the flag. Oh yeah, that's a semaphore flag, isn't it? Share my
All
screen.
right, hold on. You can see it though?
Red and yellow.
Red and white. Definitely. Anyway, these guys are bad boys, bro. These are too legit to quit.
That would be cool. I think he would like that.
Oh my god, it would break my heart to. And then I got this bad boy right here. It's
Is that a 50 caliber?
it's definitely a 50 cal, but it's an official.
Are you okay showing that on live?
Yeah, it's drilled out.
Oh, okay,
Military drill.
Right.
So, yeah. But anyway, so I got 2 green guys. In my
Those flags are different.
grand nephew, I don't know what you would call him. Like, wouldn't it be cool? He just graduated military school, and my dad got these. You know what I'm saying? Like, so I'm gonna have to. I know he's not in the Navy.
What branch?
He's in the Marines.
Okay.
But if I can look into his eyes and be like, you know I got terrible eyes right now. If I can look into his eyes and be like, bro, this means something, bro. This means something.
Okay, so but if he's a Marine, those are Navy.
Yeah,
guys,
my dad
right?
was Navy.
Because wherever there is the Navy, there is always an attachment of Marines. Because the Marines are controlled by the Navy, sort of.
So I'm really torn. I'm wondering if I want to. I'm wondering, like, if I give this to him, will he be like, bro, this is like what my house is like, bro? You see my house? Huh? Will you treat it like that? Like, if I give you this, will you like put this on your fucking wall, bro?
Or put it in the junk drawer.
Yeah, I don't want you putting this shit in the junk drawer.
Right.
But it's my cousin's son, you know, like he just graduated. I'm like, bro.
Wait, I thought he was your uncle. Okay, so the guy stranded on the road right now is your uncle.
No, it's my cousin.
Is that the guy stranded on the road right now is the guy that graduated, or his father?
My cousin, his son, graduated.
Oh, your cousin's son. Oh. And your cousin's in his the son is in his 20s.
Yeah. Okay. And my cousin is like,
okay.
What do you call it? Like a great cousin?
He's your first cousin once removed.
He's my great cousin. So he's like He's my
Right before that,
granddad's brother,
grand cousin, grand cousin.
son's son. This shit is so gay, bro. How all this works. But I'm thinking.
How old is your cousin?
He's your age. 60. He's something.
Oh, he's in his 60s? No, he'll be
50 something,
fine with a blown out tire.
And it's his adopted son. But he can play like all the instruments. He can.
Your cousin was in his 40s when he adopted his son. Wow.
Yeah, it's my mom's cousin, so whatever that is. Great cousin. What they call it? What do you call that?
How often do you see him? Do you talk to him ever? No. Okay. You just happen to be related. His son happens to be graduating.
No, he's my big homie James. He's gay as fuck. I mean, he's not gay. I always make jokes that he's gay. He talks like you, but he don't talk like you. But he talks like you. He teaches. He's a Catholic teacher, and his wife is a Catholic teacher as well. But like,
how many other children do they have? How many other children do they have?
Big homie.
Really? And they adopted them. They can't have kids together?
No.
Oh.
So he's not real blood at all. So I'm torn if I want to give this guy this thing.
Keep the bloodline pure.
Yep.
Adoptees don't count.
Hell, I mean they do, bro. They do. Do you think they do?
Adoptees?
Yeah.
Adoptees count. Yeah.
Isn't that a conundrum?
But not bloodline. I mean they're not blood, if that means
no,
anything.
he's blood, but the kid he's blood.
Right, but his kid is not blood, and you're going to give that kid one of those 4 little sailor fellas.
Think I should?
How often do you talk to the kid?
I ain't never talked to him in my life.
Ever.
Not once.
And he's not blood. And he's not blood. And you were wincing whether or not you should give him one in the first place.
Because he's in the military, bro.
I know, but when I thought you were blood. So, don't give him one.
Okay.
Don't make the decision. Yeah. I mean, what's he going to, if you do or don't, he's not going to know. Well, he might if he watches this.
This bitch ain't ever watching this shit. There ain't a chance.
No, then don't give him one. It's a nice gesture. This is a nice thought.
Is it a good thought, though?
It is.
All right.
Yeah, I want to give him one of these sailors from my family to press these family.
I was torn. You know what I mean? I feel like, bro, he's joining the fucking Marines. And I'm like, bro, I gotta. Because my family is like Navy, Army, Marine, all that stuff. And I'm like, bro, I gotta give him like a trinket. Should I give him a trinket? But
that's a piece of your heart,
bro. It is, dog.
Yeah, you were waffling whether or not you give it to him in the first place.
I can't.
Fuck him. Buy a dinner instead.
Yeah, we'll have.
There's no sentimental attachment to bok choy.
I got another thing I'll show. Hold on. Let me grab it real quick. through this bad boy. Wah, 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 wah.
Those coins? No, badges. We don't need no stinking badges. Lighters. Do I see Zippos? Zippos and badges. And manicured fingernails.
I got good fingernails.
Let me see it. Let me see the other end. Let me see the far end. All right. So these Zippos. I don't know what that brass thing is in the middle.
It's my dad's. It's his chief petty officer badge.
Okay. Go farther this way. Swipe that way. Swipe that way. Let me see what's over there. Move it. Yes. All right. What are those?
It's the Pentagon and a bunch of other shit.
Yeah, but what are they?
These are like
Coins?
badges. You know what I'm saying?
Okay.
This is my dad.
Now those are those Zippos at the bottom?
That's all. So these are all my dad's police badges.
I know. Right, but at the bottom.
That's all. Yeah,
Those
it's
are
where
Zippo
like where
light.
you would work. You would get like a Zippo.
Okay. Oh, that's cool. Who put that together?
My
That's
dad
beautiful.
made this.
Wow.
Mm.
Yeah, keep that. Don't give
Oh,
it to
motherfucker, hell
an adopted
no.
cousin. That's removed.
Well, let me go put it back. Hold on.
An adopted first cousin was removed. Oh yeah.
You ever been to Japan?
No, I've never traveled abroad. I don't have a passport. I should get a passport. I don't have a passport. And I know what pronouns to use. So,
all right, let's listen to a couple things I had put on the watch list. What the hell? Do you think they killed Val Kilmer?
they
Do you
killed
think
what?
they killed Val Kilmer? Isn't that a terrible?
I don't know enough. No, I don't. But I'm just guessing because I don't know the circumstances of it.
But I had ideas, insecurities, obviously, about myself that I projected onto the movie business. Just the sounds coming out of my mouth. It was just absurdly unrealistic.
Slowly, with
So apparently, I have an evil twin.
But do you think that people thought?
What did you say, motherfucker?
that he's ill, and maybe they poisoned him over time to give him whatever.
Yeah, I mean,
It looked like he was suffering from a disease.
yeah, they took his voice away from him, and he seemed healthy as a motherfucker.
and he sounds like crap.
Yeah, but
Like he's
well,
struggling to
they took his
speak.
throat out, like parts of his throat.
Fuck.
I had
What was the
ideas, insecurities, obviously, about myself that I projected onto the movie business. Just the sounds coming out of my mouth. It was just absurdly unrealistic. So apparently, I have an evil twin.
But do you think that people found it difficult to work with you because
Yeah,
of that?
what's the one past difficult? Impossible?
Impossible.
Yeah, I'm kind of blacklisted. I haven't gotten a studio job in 15 years.
So you feel in a way that you are banned from the...
No, not in a way.
You are.
Yeah, I think.
Are your goal to get back or...
Yeah, I'd love to. I've always watched movies and wondered what I'd be like in that part.
If you get back, will you behave in another way or...
Isn't that weird? Like, he seems like healthy as a motherfucker.
Not in that interview. He sounds anything but healthy.
He's already like healed from his throat surgery. So he's not going to sound anything like he's smiling.
Did he have throat cancer?
Whatever the fuck it was.
I didn't know he had surgery.
Yeah, he had like I ate too many vaginas throat surgery. You know what I mean?
Oh. Okay, now I don't feel sorry for him.
So regardless of like the way they fucked the way his voice sounded after all the surgeries, how did he? I mean, look, doesn't he sound and look healthy? Like he's
No, he doesn't to me. He looks fat and bloated, and he can't speak. It's taken a great deal of his strength just to sit down with that guy.
You're full of shit. You sound like.
How old is he? He's older than me, isn't he? How old is he?
Motherfucker, bro. So you're telling me he don't look healthy and all that? The way he's reacting, you're not even. I mean,
like in that part.
If you get back, will you behave in another way or?
Yes.
Yeah.
In the way that gets me hired again.
So then it seemed like he's like.
He's already beaten.
Man.
Yes, in a way that gets me hired. Why is this dog here? Yes, I will act differently in a way that gets me hired. Because I was a son of a bitch to work with. He's a really good actor.
Okay. Right. But what I'm asking is, he died. Like, does it seem like he's someone who's ready to die?
How did he die? I can't remember. I mean, I never knew. I don't think. How did Val Kilmer die?
I was very outspoken about very specific things about the art. But it's a business. And I acted like it wasn't.
Because you are an actor.
I was a dumb actor. But I did complain quite a bit when I was younger. I didn't appreciate the business that afforded me the lifestyle that I very quickly enjoyed. Very quickly. I starred in my first movie. I was the lead in the first play I did professionally. And now that I don't have that privilege, I wish that I loved more.
It just doesn't seem like him dying makes sense.
Well, he had throat cancer and underwent chemotherapy and 2 tracheotomies.
What is that fucking noise?
And then that's my dog.
Kick him.
Before he died of pneumonia. Okay. All right.
What is that?
Okay. Come on.
That is the world's oldest religion, and people don't realize that. It is the oldest religion, and some people say it's the most widespread religion.
Well, yeah, if you read the Bible, which they've dug up everything, it's accurate, the Old Testament, you can definitely give this to the Jews, that they are the first big religion to officially ban human sacrifice. And that's,
well, that was Abraham.
Abraham, yeah, the Abrahamic religion, because everybody else was doing it, whether you were in what's China then or what is Mexico today.
Oh, hey, welcome back.
He's this big. He's 13 years old, and so I had to carry him up a flight of stairs, put him back.
Sounded like whatever.
That is the world's oldest religion, and people don't realize that. It is the oldest religion, and some people say it's the most widespread religion.
Well, yeah, if you read the Bible, which they've dug up everything, it's accurate, the Old Testament, you can definitely give this to the Jews, that they are the first big religion to officially ban human sacrifice. And that's,
well, that was Abraham.
Abraham, yeah, the Abrahamic religion, because everybody else was doing it.
Yeah.
Whether you were in what's China then or what is Mexico today or whether you were in Germany, the whole Africa, every group had these devil cults that sacrificed children.
Well, that's why I say it's the world's oldest religion, and it has been secret, and it's the basis of all secret societies, too. And so it has been secret until, probably the last 15 or 20 years. But, since the internet, it's been hard for church and state to keep their secret societies secret. That Babylonian cult is still in the world's largest religion. Have you heard all this stuff about Trump getting all the gold?
Well, a lot of the gold's been flooding back to the United States because the world's betting on us winning. And the world's also thinking there may be a big war. So, yeah. So that's kind of a good sign. Everybody's bringing their gold back here.
Right.
Because and that's why so many jobs are coming back and people are betting. Most of the countries, when Trump put those tariffs on, came and agreed to get rid of their tariffs and make deals.
Yeah.
So it's working. You just won't see that in the news.
Well, somebody sent me, because, I'm a really nosy old woman. I call everybody and ask them things, and everybody, knows I'm old and nosy, and they tell me stuff. And so somebody just yesterday told me that it's all about the gold, and that Trump finally said he who has the gold rules. And so I've been following the stuff about the gold for a long time, because I can't remember her name, Dr. Jan.
What's up, bitch?
Is Fort Knox empty or full?
Full. And even in New York, where we got just as much gold. You remember, motherfucker, you left me. You stupid gay.
I thought you left first.
What happened? You left me.
I thought it looked to me like you left first.
Rude.
I know.
But anyway, you remember in Die Hard 3, they stole all the gold after they caused 9/11. Did what they did with Samuel L. Jackson. You remember that one?
Vaguely, I saw it once a long time ago.
Bro, I watched that movie like every year.
What was the imminent threat? They had to do something through town to save something.
It was Dude Man's brother from the first film was robbing Fort Knox of New York.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So let's just listen to this a little bit.
Halper, is it? She said that Trump went over to the Vatican a long time ago and flew out something like 200 planes worth of gold out of there. Did you hear that?
Well, I know a lot of the U.S. gold was in overseas vaults, and we've been bringing it back.
Yeah, so now, and they said they went to Fort Knox, and that had no gold in it. That was
well, there hasn't been an audit since the 70s.
But it said, like, the gold is coming back.
Well, I will say this. I've been hearing from Elon and Trump for 2 months plus. They were going to go inspect the gold at Fort Knox. Hadn't happened yet.
Right. Well, they said it was missing, but then it started trickling back from, every place, especially Switzerland. So it seems.
What's interesting is one of the deals that Trump is making is in Switzerland, and I think Roseanne Barr, James O'Keefe, Alex Jones, and all that—they're like the American bravada. Mm-hmm. They're like
they're outrageous enough. They're so outrageous in what they're saying, but there's just enough truth behind it. There's just enough reason behind it.
And what they're doing is they're telling the truth, in some respect, and actually a lot of respect. And what they're doing is they're forcing nations to put back the gold here in the United States. This should be here. And what I found ironic is one of the first trade deals that Trump signed with anyone in all of this is the United Kingdom.
Mm-hmm. Well, they don't have to listen to the EU anymore.
Because Prince William doesn't want his shit being gayed up. He does not want his shit being gayed up. I was even talking to Heather about this.
William's the son. God bless his dad. He's going to die soon.
Yeah, King
Charles is not long for this world.
Like, he's like, I'm down like a clown, Charlie Brown. Like, I got you, Trump. Whatever you need, bro. So anyway, back to this.
It's like that.
That's very astute. That's where the Vatican keeps its main gold.
Right.
Is the Swiss, because the Swiss are their army.
Yeah, I know. They are assassins.
What?
Well, the Jesuits are their assassins.
Well, both.
Right.
But if you look at it's not just the Swiss Guard that are ceremonial. Switzerland is where the Vatican keeps a lot of its goodies. That's why they're smart and keep it as neutral.
Yeah.
That way they can make money off all sides of wars.
And they decide what wars are going to happen, and then they sell weapons to both sides, right? Because war is the biggest business in the world.
Mm-hmm. Well, that's right. In World War II, the Vatican was working with the Allies and with the Nazis.
Right.
Yeah.
Exactly.
You can kind of see why, though. I mean, Italy was run by Mussolini and occupied, so.
Well, yeah. It's just all so dirty, but it seems like it ought to be centered there in Switzerland, where they own every penny on earth, and I think they keep track of every penny.
Well, if you're going to rule from somewhere, it's pretty nice.
Yeah.
So you remember, Pharaoh left Egypt, even though they weren't hanging out in Egypt, to be honest. They went to Switzerland. They set up their base. So the base is in Switzerland.
How long ago? Thousands of years ago?
Between 1200 and 1232 to 1500. It took like
900 years. Okay.
It took about like 280 years, 270 years to like really set it up good. And because at the same time, while they were setting up Switzerland, they were reorganizing Spain.
Spain? For what purpose?
Because it ended up being the base of what would become the central bankers of what we know today. So you have like two propagandists, Roseanne Barr and Alex Jones, and they're just like walking on top of each other. But let's get through this.
And I've done all this. You should have this guy on, Dr. Sean Harass. Do you know who that is?
I've heard the name.
And he has all these videos on YouTube. But he talks about straight line from Egypt to Switzerland in 1291 founded.
Yeah.
By the Templars with all the stuff they stole out of the Middle East and founded Switzerland. And that he talks about all the castles from pharaohs you know, Pharaoh and all of Pharaoh's sons and all the castles in Egypt, because it's like straight out of Babylon. All the castles where they do their Babylonian black magic and headquartered in Switzerland. And he calls it home of the devil because he shows all these castles there with their gargoyles eating children and all that stuff that we all always talk about, you know, that Babylonian child sacrifice cults and all that stuff. And it's like all those people, the people who MK Ultra and all that stuff, where they do stuff with children and all that horrible stuff that we've all heard about, in the castles, you know, it's child sacrifice, black magic stuff that they do to blackmail people to get them to do what they want them to do and put them in
Well, that's
office.
right, because black magic, even in mainline psychology textbooks that are PhD level, was just the old name of mind control before we had psychology the last 200 years.
Right.
Secret societies were the old name for private intelligence agencies.
Yeah, right. It just has new names, exactly. But if you watch his videos on YouTube, it's mind-blowing because he goes to every castle.
Oh, there's some of the gargoyles.
Yeah, look at it.
Delicious.
And one of the best people to look in terms of all this was a Huguenot named Sean Ross.
Sean?
Seanhross. Sean Ross. And he did a very good job at due diligence in respect to like castles and like esoteric knowledge associated to them and all that. And a lot of people like ripped off Sean Ross. And you know, like the Republic of France and all those castles. So if you've been following along, as you should, Mr. Seven.
I'm trying.
Mr. Seven. Castle builders of early Europe, like Roseanne said and like I said and all that, essentially came out of the mid 1200s going into the early 1300s. And that's the expansion of essentially the Egyptian monopoly moving into Switzerland, which is like grain and rice, Mediterranean trade, textiles, all of that moved.
What, the production of it or the management of it? Or?
Yeah, the whole management squad, they had essentially figured out what the Alps were. And they're like, bro, the Alps are fucking amazing. Fuck Egypt. Because one of the only reasons why they were keeping that stronghold in the lower south of the Mediterranean was for like religious, esoteric indifferences. So it's like having your super religious uncle, you know, not willing to give up Egypt as the base of operations. And you got a new breed of character coming in. And like, bro, the Alps, let's like establish Switzerland. They're like, fuck all of this. This is stupid. And they want to go to Switzerland. And that's how Switzerland was created. Because remember, we're talking about...
And it makes sense that they stayed neutral so they could play all sides.
Yeah, because...
For their own... Swiss, what else?
Switzerland is
They make watches. Watch mafia.
It's a cool-ass thing. Like, I have no problems with Switzerland. Love Switzerland. Never been to it, but, like, I love them. Like, the game they played. Because, like, really, again, this all essentially really starts after double entry bookkeeping. So like once you monopolized inventory management,
okay,
which is like what Microsoft has really done. inventory management is like the key to all societies. And then like holding the applications that control inventory management,
Yeah.
very important. And then that's like how blockchain, because you end up having after World War I, World War II, cryptographic intelligence, and then all the patents associated with them, and they ended up expiring in the 80s and the 90s, which encouraged technological advances like the internet, ARPA, DARPA. France had their own version. Germany had their own version. Uh, it's fun, really fun. So, but holding the monopoly on double book or double entry bookkeeping.
How can you hold a monopoly on a technique of bookkeeping?
Well,
once the idea is out there, anybody can use it.
Well, this is why blockchain is so important, because if you introduce just like glasses or the horse and carriage or wheel, fire, the introduction of like these new technologies,
the internet, the World Wide Web.
If you can be the catalyst or like the fundamental God to holding the power to digital transactions, you can make an ungodly amount of money on the transaction itself. And that's why
money, real money, like backed up.
Yeah, so the money is, so say for example, if double entry bookkeeping and cryptological technologies are combined, and you're in Africa and I'm in Africa, and I sell a goat to you, and instead of us exchanging like a skin or a fur or a couple animals like cow or anything like that, we make an exchange through our rudimentary cell phone devices. There is a fraction of that transaction that will go to that blockchain. And if you
okay, I see. It's like how Richard Pryor got rich in Superman 3.
Yeah, if you
he knew that there was all these tenths of a penny that were missing from people's paychecks, and he gathered them all up in one place and wrote himself a check for that amount, which was tens of thousands, if not hundreds of thousands of dollars.
And that's what blockchain is. Like, so the person who controls the purse to the one making all the money on these microtransactions.
Today, is it the Swiss banks that own?
Yeah. And that's what SWIFT was with Visa and MasterCard and all that. So for 3 decades, 4 decades, 5 decades, really like 4 or 5 decades, SWIFT and all that have been making bukus amounts of money on this technology that they've had a monopoly on for these transactions. And now blockchain is coming in. It's like, bro, PayPal, they want in on the SWIFT. All these other guys, XRP,
what is
Bitcoin. SWIFT controls every single transaction between Visa and MasterCard.
Oh, wow.
And they
somebody's got to do it. Might as well be them.
And they get a portion of every single transaction, which is billions. And people want to know. They want in. Enough. So let's listen to this, and then we'll move on to the next.
So there you've got the adrenochrome right there.
Yeah. I have to pee first.
There you go, pee.
All right. And put it back in. All right.
You don't have to turn off the camera. Chair streams are encouraged. Jesus Christ, can't get this damn thing up. Oh, fucking fuck. All right.
The schedule busy, my head in a hoodie, my shorty a goodie, my dash is busy. The schedule busy, my head in a hoodie, my shorty a goodie, my dash is busy. The schedule busy, my head in a hoodie, my shorty, my head in a hoodie, my shorty a goodie, my dash is busy. The schedule busy, my head in a hoodie, my shorty a goodie, my dash is busy. The schedule busy, my head in a hoodie, my shorty a goodie, my dash is busy. The schedule busy, my head in a hoodie, my shorty a goodie, my dash is busy. The schedule busy, my head in a hoodie, my shorty a goodie, my dash is busy. The schedule busy, my head in a hoodie, my shorty a goodie, my dash is busy. The schedule busy, my head in a hoodie, my shorty a goodie, my cousins are crazy, my cousins like books. Life is amazing, it is what it should be.
I'll never forget you, my dear. Don't cry. I fell through the door. I'll just say bye-bye.
Exactly. And, you know,
Is that John Podesta and his brother?
it looks like it, but that is the world's oldest religion, and people don't realize that. It is the oldest religion, and some people say it's the most widespread religion.
Well, yeah, if you read the Bible, which they've dug up everything, it's accurate, the Old Testament, you can definitely give this to the Jews, that they are the first big religion to officially ban human sacrifice. And that's,
well, that was Abraham.
Abraham, yeah, the Abrahamic religion, because everybody else was doing it.
Yeah.
Whether you were in what's China then, or what is Mexico today, or whether you were in Germany, the whole Africa, every group had these devil cults that sacrificed children.
Well, because they thought that they had to sacrifice children to make the sun come up.
Yeah, and then people love to bash the Jews all day, and there's certainly been plenty of Jews that have bad things, but the point is it is the Jews that first come up with the one God and say he wants us to stop killing and burning and eating the children. So that's a good thing the Jews did.
Yeah, that is a good thing, right?
Yeah. But then you can look at the Babylonian Talmud and Judaism, modern and all that stuff. It's just like the other big groups. That's hidden in that.
Hidden in the Babylonians, and the Jews did it. The Jews were the first monotheists.
But then you can look at the Babylonian Talmud.
What the fuck you say?
The Jews were the first monotheists.
No.
Okay. Well, that's what Alex Jones just said.
Well, he's retarded.
Talmud and Judaism, modern and all that stuff. It's just like the other big groups. That's hidden in that.
What?
That Babylonian cult is still in the world's largest religion. The Canaanite religion.
Hold on. Yeah, let's go to break. We're going to come right back with that. Stay right there. Back to the Canaanites. You just hit something huge there. Please continue.
Yeah, it is. Well, that's why I say it's the world's oldest religion, and it has been secret, and it's the basis of all secret societies, too. And so it has been secret until, probably the last 15 or 20 years. But, since the internet, it's been hard for church and state to keep their secret society secret because of, the intelligence of people to get on there and search.
Well, in World War II, both in Germany and in England, when they bombed each other, they'd bomb old Catholic churches, cathedrals, and Protestant ones, and they would find huge occultic to the Canaanite gods, Moloch, but they would also find it to Mithra, and that happened. So you're absolutely right, is they would just hide the secret societies within that. It's funny you mentioned the Canaanites, and there's human sacrifice and Moloch that in the Old Testament, Moses and all of them say, don't do this. This is our enemy. Stop killing kids and wipe out anybody that does. When I went to Bohemian Grove and covered that, they said we call back the gods of Cain.
So these are
they actually said this is a Canaanite ritual during it.
So these are the people that are in charge of the Swiss banks and the double ledger system, and
a lot of them are.
The child sacrifices, the Canaanites, the world's largest religion.
So the Canaans have a large structure in banking and international trade, like shipping containers.
And they have for 800 years.
They have for
900.
2025 years officially.
Oh, okay.
But realistically, since double book entry bookkeeping,
double entry bookkeeping. What does that mean?
Bookkeeping. Jesus Christ. What is that, about 2,000 years to 3,000 years in its whole encompassed time frame? Say, about that.
Once us humans figured out how to do it.
Oh yeah, we shipped out this many. Yeah, this asshole said we didn't get this many. Yeah. Blame it on inventory.
That's right.
And it's in my film that's, by the way, free online, Dark Secrets of Bohemian Grove.
Yeah, that's astounding that you were able to put that out. And, it's just astounding. I just want to say to you, you're the one that woke everybody up initially, and you've continued to do it for all this time. So we're all so grateful for you, and we're all so heartbroken of how hard they've come against you. We're heartbroken for that, and we're pissed off, too. And we need you. And, I just wanted to thank you for all you've done for America and the world to open our eyes to so many things, Alex.
Anyway, that was all of that. So.
Yeah. There's no way Alex Jones is paying that money. $1 billion? He's not paying that.
Yeah, he's a smart fellow.
They seized everything that he owned, didn't they? But they didn't shut him up. He's still flapping his gums. billion. What? And he's still flapping his gums. He's not shutting up. And he knows that he's not going to pay that $1 billion. They got whatever they could get from him, didn't they? When they took all his shit away, didn't they?
Yeah.
Shut down the InfoWars studios, seized all his equipment.
Nah, they didn't take all that shit.
No.
Where is that video I was watching earlier? So here is the new paradigm shift. Here we go.
What to what?
Created, I get a tattoo of their face on my chest. So when I had to get inked up 18, every time a new billionaire is created, I get a tattoo of their face on my chest. So when I had to get inked up 18 times over the last decade to celebrate a bunch of guys who became billionaires off of a mysterious new darling of finance called private credit, I just knew something was afoot. So afoot that it's got the rest of Wall Street fighting for a turn at the money hose, and of course a coveted spot next to my right nipple. So what's this thing that's getting everyone rich now? Huh? I started my investigation by watching what's well known to be the horniest media outlet we got spinning today. Bloomberg.
Private credit remains the hottest market.
Private credit is kind of the sexiest story on the street.
It's very sexy.
Private credit. It's like the hottest thing on the street.
Private credit is so hot.
Private credit is looking more attractive.
Private credit is getting so hot.
Private credit is really attractive.
Private credit as an industry really has come of age.
I'm glad I'm not the only one who finds this arousing. Seeing words like explosive growth, mega deals, shadow banking, and not a bubble just give me a tingle in my journalists. But like most times I'm aroused, I'm also deeply confused.
It's really simple. Even credit, for a lot of viewers, that sounds kind of weird and, finance speak. It's just funds making loans to businesses. And that's all it is. And there's nothing really that sexy about it.
Speak for yourself, Robert Smith, corporate finance editor at the Financial Times. Some of us are attracted to highly profitable businesses and would love to get to know them better.
Essentially, private credit is just a loan being made, usually to a pretty risky company, a highly indebted one, from a non-bank. So sometimes they call it non-bank lending, and it's an almost $2 trillion market. Wow. And it's up almost 10 times what it was right before the financial crisis.
Maureen Farrell is a reporter for the New York Times covering Wall Street.
Before the great financial crisis in 2008, you could essentially go to a bank for a pretty risky loan. Afterwards, because of all the regulations around banks, it became a lot trickier for banks to go take money from depositors and put it in a risky loan. They were worried about companies not paying it back.
That's why private credit firms like Apollo, Ares, Blue Owl, and Oaktree swooped in from outside the traditional banking system and offered to lend to these risky businesses in exchange for some hefty interest rates and fees. This is making them rich as hell, and all those clams are attracting young professionals to private credit like a moth to moth food.
They are getting top talent, these firms now. People are graduating from...
Private credit is let me turn this down. Turn quiet. The loan banks that they got like next here?
Yeah.
It said I was reconnecting. The loan places that they have all over the world, specifically United States, where you can do these ridiculous car refinance loans and
Yeah.
Uh,
check cashing places.
The check cashing places and all that.
If you have the title, we have the cash.
Yeah.
We're going to charge you 50% interest or something stupid like that.
Bro, this is on a whole nother level.
Wharton or Harvard or MIT, and rather than saying I want to go work for Goldman, they're saying I want to go work for Apollo or I want to go work for Blue Owl.
Matt Wirtz is a reporter covering credit for the Wall Street Journal.
Recently I was in Hudson Yards, which is this like fancy new kind of office area, and I was on the escalator and the woman in front of me had a backpack, and it was one of those like swag backpacks. It was a nice one. I think it was an Osprey, and it had a Blue Owl logo on it.
That's right. Nothing announces the arrival of a Wall Street titan like a fresh new bougie hiking backpack. Fuck your JanSport. And it seems like all these guys are making a decent amount of money without going through the usual Wall Street humiliation rituals.
Like I have a much better work-life balance, I think, than people that work in IB or, you know, on Wall Street doing this type of stuff, which I appreciate. Like, I'm not having to chug vodka Red Bulls to grind out 10 different merger memos in an IB shop, and just for like color, like just me, one guy, what I manage in terms of like loan dollars, I probably have 15 that I'm on, and in total just the loan capitalization, it's like, you know.
You want ads that drive results. That's why we built Roku Ads Manager. Sign up at ads.roku.com.
About an hour ago, Theo airballed the game-winning shot. But with the Zaxby Sauceballs box...
What were you going to
say? So he's getting a little piece of it too. Okay, so this private credit. Is that what he was describing, private credit?
Yeah. Unless we was about to say.
One guy, what I manage in terms of like loan dollars, I probably have 15 that I'm on, and in total just the loan capitalization, it's like, you know, probably close to $1 billion.
Wow. What is...
Time for a quick break.
Isn't that crazy, bro?
$1 billion. And he has 4 or 5 that total $1 billion, right? Is that what he said?
14 to 15.
14 to 15.
Yeah.
He's managing 14 to 15 different private credit
loans that amount to $1 billion.
He's getting that amount to $1 billion, and he's getting a little piece of it of each one. Bro, that's brilliant. Why can't we do that?
It makes me jealous.
Why can't we do that?
Just double entry bookkeeping, bro.
High reward compared to the boring old stock market, but it's seen as a pretty safe investment compared to something like private equity. Haha, missed me again. Now in private equity, you buy a piece of a company and then try to maximize its profits. But that also means you can lose your entire investment if the company implodes. In private credit, you're just lending money to a company and then getting a steady drip of interest payments back. In theory, a pretty reliable way to invest in private, potentially riskier companies. And investors have been a-flocking.
Pension funds, it's teachers, firefighters, university endowments, and sovereign wealth funds. And they go to these people because these new private credit providers have sought to get huge amounts of money to lend. And those are the people who write the biggest checks.
Love the biggest checks. My favorite size. I'm talking area. Those big novelty checks, send them to daddy. I want them. And all that new money has tripled the size of the private credit industry over the last decade to $1.5 trillion. Wow. That's tripled, as in tripled. Maureen?
You start seeing these like newly minted billionaires. Everyone's telling you this, it's the hottest, can't lose investment. And I think anytime anything grows so quickly out of nowhere, it feels like you have to take a look at it. It feels like it needs scrutiny.
You want scrutiny? Well, let me take it from here, acclaimed New York Times journalist. While private credit is advertised as having pretty safe and steady returns, these companies borrowing money can be pretty unreliable and sometimes can't pay back their debts. In just the past year, the Chicken Soup for the Soul company couldn't pay back their loan of over $60 million. Zips Car Wash had to ask for an extension on its payment because it was bleeding cash. The tech bros over at CoreWeave borrowed $7.5 billion to buy an rent out NVIDIA chips, but then violated the agreement. Education software company Pluralsight got taken over by their debt collectors because they couldn't pay, and paper manufacturer Progest was accused of using their loan to fund their Prosecco vineyard and buy a yacht. Personally, wouldn't get mad at Progest for that. And while these are all isolated instances, some experts worry that they could get more common.
So there's truly a question of like, what will happen if the economy starts running into trouble, and it's just very untested.
There's been no test yet of this enterprise under really sustained risk and pressure financially.
Senator Jack Game Time Reed of Rhode Island sits on the Senate Banking Committee and has petitioned the Federal Reserve to impose more oversight on the private credit industry. He notes that private credit is just a whittled Gen Z baby that doesn't know how to drive stick or navigate a financial crisis. His own words.
So if interest rates remain high, that means the cost of the debt for these companies remains high. If you combine that with a recession where their revenue is going down and inflation where their costs are going up, then you could actually see a lot of companies having difficulty paying back their debt at the same time. That's going to be a real test.
Private credit grew like a motherfucking weed in the low-rate, high-growth 2010s. But now, the economy is showing signs of recession, and rates are higher, which means borrowing companies are making less in cash and paying more in loans because of those rising interest rates. In fact, now over a third of private credit borrowers now owe more in interest than they generate in earnings. And all this adds up to a potential nightmare scenario, especially when you throw in that regulators have basically no jurisdiction over private credit because of private.
Some of this stuff is a bit Schrodinger's cat, right? You have a box which is your private credit fund, and it's only really at the end of the 7 years, however long your money's locked up for, that you get to open it up and find out whether the cat's alive or dead. So yeah, might be quite a few dead cats kicking around in a few years.
The scariest part though is just how big it's become out of nowhere and how opaque it is. You can't really see the full picture. Regulators don't have the full picture.
One of the problems that goes back to a fundamental problem, transparency. We don't know what these terms are, how long they're holding it, what rights they have to be reimbursed, etc.
Even though these folks are giving out loans like banks, they aren't regulated like banks. There's no oversight on loan sheets or independent checks on how healthy the borrowing company actually is. Meanwhile, investment managers point to private credit as a leading possible cause of the next financial crisis, and my mom's hall pass, Jamie Dimon, has said that there could be hell to pay if private credit starts to crack. But while the risks are growing, so too is private credit also, with one estimate saying that the industry could triple by 2030. That's triple, as in triple. And all this growth could be making things riskier, or at least weirder, with loans financed in all kinds of ways for all kinds of stuff.
It could be backed by millions of transactions, like buy now, pay later transactions, or Peloton contracts. Like, you can buy private credit debt that's backed by music royalties. Like, there are people that take out loans to get elective plastic surgery, and you could buy bonds that are backed by that. Those are actually mostly public, but some of those deals are private. So as the scope of what private credit entails gets bigger, there's a lot more to choose from, and some of it is pretty safe and some of it is not. It's all kind of complicated. Complexity breeds risk. If you're going to edit all that stuff out, just stick with, like, it's complicated and complexity breeds risk.
I'm thinking maybe I should have just edited all that out and said it's complicated and complexity breeds risk. Too late. You can't change this stuff once it's in camera. Everybody wants loans now, and private credit firms are fighting hard to hand them out. Lenders are reportedly competing with each other by taking on more risk, dishing out bigger loans with looser requirement for borrowers in order to win more business. Plus, banks, the very institutions that private credit was originally billed as the alternative to, are getting in on the action. Even regular people are getting involved. Ew. But unlike institutional investors, these normals have a finite amount of money, so they might panic and pull out when things get ugly. And that can affect the whole system. In general, experts and regulators alike are both concerned with what economists call mo money, mo problems.
They're growing exponentially, becoming a systemic problem, not just a one-off sideline. There is virtually no regulation. They're not regulated as the banks are by the Federal Reserve, the Office of Comptroller and Currency, the state banking regulators. And the clock is ticking.
Indeed, the clock is ticking, but there's no way of knowing how much time we have left. It's like a tick-tock, tick-tock you can't hear.
Yeah.
Like a silent clock. Scary stuff, huh? Private credit is a lot of things. It's a lending system that provides cash for riskier businesses, that's largely unregulated, that's generated high returns and captured Wall Street's attention while growing their wallets. But it's also a black box of interconnected financial relationships that's growing and changing rapidly, and there's nary a peephole through which we can peep. But I guess maybe what you don't know can't hurt you. For good work, I'm Dan Toomey.
Good work, Dan Toomey. You posted that meme today, the Schrodinger's.
I did.
Yeah. I didn't get it. It's like, what the fuck does he mean by that? But I'm sure it's clever.
What do you mean? We talked about Schrodinger's box. You remember?
I know what
in a quantum reality.
Yeah.
Based upon unknowable facts and facts that can be quantified by observable facts. So as soon as you observe something,
it changes behavior.
It changes behavior. Exactly.
Mm-hmm. I remember.
Yes. So is the cat really alive or dead?
Right. And it's both alive and dead.
Just like
until it's observed.
Just like the company.
Okay. Just like private credit.
Economics is fun.
Once you understand economics, you understand.
Yeah. Isn't that playing?
I'm looking for a picture. I can't find it. Looking since the stream started.
Oh, it's only 12:50. Fuck.
You're in Central Time Zone.
Yeah.
Me too.
So I have that. Do I want to? No, I don't want to do that.
So tell me about the librarian who got fired. We were talking about librarians.
Oh,
you control the information. She was the first woman and the first black, wasn't she, to be chosen as the librarian? Yeah, and she was associated with some family. You were tell me about. Listen.
So I had. Where are you at? Oh, there. So I had sent a message to you about let me switch this. Bring this over. CIA Director Gina Haspel plotted to overthrow the presidency in 2016, 2020. And she was a librarian before in Kentucky.
Did you restart them again?
No. Why did someone do it?
I'm sorry, it's been like 40 minutes now, and it says 30 on it. So
I don't know. And she was a librarian, and then she became the CIA director.
Is this the girl that got fired today? By Trump?
No. And then
no, it's different. Okay.
And then we had this right here. The librarian of the Congress.
Mm-hmm.
She was fired today.
What did she do? She was the first woman and the first African American to be Librarian of Congress.
Indeed.
Do
be an asshole.
Mm-hmm.
You know, you. So, what I learned is from about the 60s, the late 60s to the early 70s, the librarians really started to take over. And the librarians always
Take over what?
power.
Everything from
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. And next thing you know, they started becoming CIA directors. And when Joe Carter enacted the senior executive service, that really laid like more bricks in the foundation. And at that same time, you had the Operation of Strategic Services becoming the CIA, which is an Army branch. And so
The Army.
you kind of had the filing liaisons, like the librarians of the Army,
Okay.
create the
Okay.
CIA.
Okay.
And
Okay, because that's a lot of information you gotta coalesce.
Yeah, it's really crazy, man.
And go through. That's a lot of intelligence.
Yeah.
A lot of information. So you have to have a library. I get it. Okay, that makes sense.
Yeah, they were really good. They were really good, man, at being deceivers, I would say. And
Being Jesuit.
I commend them, great job. Like, fuck, who would have thought, secret librarians
I know, right?
who control the government? Bittersweet, right?
Witches. Are they mostly female? The librarians? Is that like a coven or is it male dominated?
How would you know that? But the ones who are out in the open are always female. Now you have yeah, because you have well, recently they've been female, but I think throughout Congress they've probably been male. Because you have Congress, they got their librarian, and then you also have NARA, which is the National Archives.
Right.
They have their librarian.
So how many other libraries are there around the world that are comparable to the Library of Congress? There has to be at least a dozen somewhere. There's one location where somebody stores the sum of human knowledge in one place.
It would be Paris, London, Rome, Bucharest.
It's got to be one in China, one in Russia.
Yeah, all the file keepers, bro. The file keepers have dumb power.
Yeah.
Dumb power.
Influence.
Because, to be honest, like...
You should unionize.
They did unionize, unfortunately.
File Keepers Union.
But then the unions ended up getting taken over, so it was like the Masons, the same damn thing.
Oh, by the Masons.
Waste of time and effort, because as soon as you do it, it gets taken over. Can't have no fun. Just like Girl Scouts, just like nuns, or not nuns, but just like female religious ladies, they want to start becoming priests. It's like nuns want to start becoming priests. It's like, no.
That's not their place.
The Boy Scouts, no girls are allowed in Boy Scouts. Like, there's always this tomfuckery. And they want to separate the Boys and Girls Club.
Hitler did it.
Yeah.
Yeah. Separated the boy youth from the girl youth. They taught the girls how to be good wives to their brave husbands. And they taught the boys how to be mindless soldiers to fight a war.
I don't believe that to be true.
He did. That's what he did. Those youth camps.
It's like the Bavarians taking over the Masons. Hitler really didn't get to do... He didn't have as much power as history wrote him down to have.
He had enough to get the whole world fighting.
No, he didn't. That was Switzerland.
Switzerland started World War II. Hitler did, that mad motherfucker.
No, he did not. No, he did not. No, he did not. Hitler was a byproduct. He was like a Home Depot.
Whatever.
You know what I mean?
Yes.
That's all he was.
He was a product of his time.
Yeah.
It
was
upbringing in his circumstance.
It was like when the German bank got a hold of oil, and so you had what was the newfound Germany?
They didn't have enough oil.
Coal and oil industry and the bank combined. I mean, there's so many so many problems. The whole reason why World War I and World War II started is because of commodities and textiles getting out of their control.
Okay.
And the best way to get commodities and textiles and things like that back in your control is to fight everyone and kill everyone.
And conquer the resource.
And that's all it was.
Yeah.
China has never been what we know China to be. Like, in all of history, there's never been a mainland China. That is a very new thing. In all of Germany's history, there has never been a Germany. That's a brand new thing. In all of Ukraine's history, there has never been a Ukraine. That's a brand new thing. And it's literally
never been an Israel. There's never been a Palestine. There's never been a. Well, there might have been a Mexico, but
there's been Israel's and Palestine.
There's never been a United States. We're only 250 some odd years old. That's it.
Yeah, so the Ukraine is essentially the steppe of Russia.
What does that mean? The steppe of Russia.
It's a flat green pasture.
Okay. And it has coastline.
Step into Russia. That's what the Ukraine.
And it has coastline. It has a lot of oil around the coastline.
Yeah, and Arabia was Arabia, and then the Saudis took over it, and then it's Saudi Arabia. Holy Roman Empire and the Rome, they lost it all, and then the borders fell, and then
Vatican cities managed to hold on for a minute and have it
made Germany. And then now today, magically on the map, we have Germany.
Borders do that, though, don't they? They kind of swish and
they
change all the time with, depending on who's in power and who draws the lines. Like Africa, if you look at that grid, it's like, what the fuck sense does this make?
Yeah.
Because
no difference.
European powers or whatever just came up and said, okay, this, there. Africa is one fucked continent. That could be a superpower continent that is really difficult to compete with on the world stage. But for some reason, it's not. I can't figure out why. It has everything it needs geopolitically. Coastlines, lots of food, lots of people that, ready to get on.
I think it should be that way. There's no reason why Africa should be united. None whatsoever. And there's no reason
religious differences. I think it comes down to
Muslims,
the Christians, and
there's no reason why Europe should be united. Like, there should be no United States of Europe. There
United States of America.
That's the only one. How
about the United States of North America? We include Canada and Mexico.
We can ratify that. We can ratify that. I'm okay with that. We can take in, but no one else is allowed. Like, so you have United Russia and the United States of America, and nothing else.
No China.
United Kingdom.
United State of China.
No,
fuck them.
Absolutely not. If anything,
Russians are kind of cool.
If anything, China needs to be broken up into. I'm gonna get murdered. China needs to be broken up into like four or five countries, like they used to be.
It's all that space in between.
Good luck.
China's east coast, where most of their population is. They have huge tracts of land with nobody in it. It's what, like 90 some odd percent of China's landmass is unpopulated.
No one lives there, yeah.
Yeah. And it has only that one coastline on the east.
Mm-hmm.
It doesn't have any. It's got a little bit up north pole, but I guess they have access to all of the, North Korea and they're South China Sea. They do have that. That's pretty strategic down that bit.
I'm curious to see what everything will look like after 2033, Jesus' 2,000-year anniversary.
Oh, okay. Of his death.
Yeah.
Not his birth.
I'm curious.
2033, 33 minus 25.
Curious. See how it goes. Hong Kong and Taiwan.
How old was Jesus when he died?
Supposedly 32, 33.
33. Oh, okay. Oh, that makes it 2033. Okay. I got you.
Just in time for Taiwan.
It's only 8 years from now.
Yep. Isn't that crazy?
Mm-hmm.
We got a lot to go through.
That's the next presidential election. Or not the next one, but
what a
in 8 years, there'll be another one.
2028.
Yeah.
Michael Legend.
Or I am. Yeah.
2028. And then that election ends in 2032. And the new president, supposedly in America, will be in 2030.
2016.
January 20th. 15 days after Jesus. 17 days after Jesus' birthday. 15 days after
he was born in December.
Yeah, 13. So it all plays out, right?
Pagan holiday or something. I can't find that picture. I keep looking for it.
You're going to be alive, right?
Huh?
The gays will be alive?
Yeah, the gays will always be amongst us. Yeah.
Okay.
Always.
I want to make another coffee.
I think we serve some sort of evolutionary purpose. Us gays. I don't know what it is.
Y'all control Apple.
Oh, good for us. Yes.
And what do you think?
We take care of the family.
Was the first gay a male or a female?
Male.
I don't think so.
Only because I can't get in a girl's head and understand what girls like in each other.
I think it was a female.
You think so?
Because like a hunting lioness, that emotional trauma, the emotion with female hunting.
Talk about humans, right?
Before male hunting. Yeah, because females were quite good hunters. Just like a lioness.
Were they?
Oh, yeah.
Oh. That's not a human, though. That's a cat.
No. I'm saying, like, females have always been...
not female humans.
Great. No.
Female humans have not always been hunters. They've
very
rarely been hunters.
No. They can get
they
close
have babies.
They can get close enough for a knife. They're the best hunters in the world.
Killers. Not hunters.
All they got to do is show you their titties, booty, vagina, and you're in the bed and you can be executed. Best hunters in the world.
Right in the ribs.
Okay. We got anything else we want to talk about? I'm tired.
Good. It was good chatting with you, K-Dollar.
Yeah.
I learned something today.
We did.
Yeah.
That it's Pharaoh that controls the world. And the Swiss. Yeah.
Don't forget the Swiss.
You're
Those slime
learning.
motherfuckers. Those slime motherfuckers.
It's not Shapiro.
The Swiss
I'm
hate
hitting
cars.